Hello everyone and welcome to Composition 2. I'm Erin O'Keefe. I'll be your instructor this semester. This video will go over the beginning of the class and the first module. So each week I try to record a video just going over the assignments for that new module. A lot of times I'll be giving you some tips and just kind of explaining the assignments maybe in a different way from what the instructions say. And so sometimes students have questions when they just look at the instructions. They can watch this video and have a better understanding of what they're supposed to do. So I do encourage you to watch the video before sending me an email. That way you don't have to wait for my response and you can get some information right away. So just kind of keep that in mind. Look out for these videos. They'll be posted in the announcements each week, but they will also be in the module itself, like on the overview page. And so just looking at the class as you log in, you'll see the announcements. I typically post 2 per week. One kind of introducing you to the next module, and then one just reminding you of due dates as we approach the end of that module. And so you can kind of keep track of the class that way. The first thing that you should do is jump into that simple syllabus and make sure that you understand the policies for the class. So when you click on that link, it should pull up the syllabus that we use this program in Allen, and all the syllabi will look the same. So the main thing that you want to remember though is that because of this program, we can see who has looked at the syllabus and who has looked at all of the syllabus and how much time you took to look at the syllabus. So you want to be making sure that you go through the whole thing and understanding each section. Instruction methods and things like that will be different for every class. So you want to make sure that you understand what's specific to this class. Late work policy in particular is really important to remember. For each class it's going to be different, so you want to make sure that you're understanding what the late work policy is for this class. And I will post reminders, but it is a good idea to either print this out or just save it somewhere where you can access it quickly. Down at the very bottom then is your acknowledge button. You want to click on that so that your instructor knows that you have read the whole thing, as well as the college itself, because everybody can access that. The next thing that you want to do is get into the modules tab here. You can see this getting started page. Most students, if you've taken an Allen class before, you'll know all of this information. And so it should be, just a review of, don't forget to go check your Allen email and all of that. The next thing that you need to do is get into this academic honesty module. So you can see module 1 is open, but it is locked until you complete the academic honesty module. So in order to complete it, you just need to click through each page of the academic honesty module and then mark the last page as done. So all of this information is just, some of it's specific to Allen and some of it is just in general, what is considered cheating versus plagiarism, what's academic dishonesty. Hopefully most of this will be review from classes that you've had before or from high school. Some of it may be new, and try to include some information that's specific to this class as well. I've got a link to the Allen Writing Center and that kind of thing to help you avoid plagiarism. We've got some situations here that you might have found yourself in before, and so that just gives students kind of a picture of what academic dishonesty might look like. And then I do have a page just giving you more information about Turnitin, which is our program through Canvas that checks for plagiarism. And a lot of times students will have questions about the little flag that pops up. Not all of your assignments will have a flag, but the big ones, especially the essays, will. And so that's what those flags mean. And then you can just kind of look through the other information on Canvas if you need. The next thing I have in here, and this is new that I put in my classes, is more information about AI. Because it is becoming more and more sophisticated, more and more popular. There are a lot of AI generators. There's a lot of things that use AI that students don't really realize, like Grammarly is becoming a huge issue for students because Grammarly is starting to provide more and more suggestions for completely rewriting sentences. And the problem is all of those are AI generated suggestions. And so if it's not just correcting a grammar error, it's actually rewriting your sentence, then we get into issues of student writing that does not sound like a person wrote it, because most of it has been corrected by Grammarly. So I always encourage students to use these detectors. All you have to do is copy and paste what you've written straight into one of these detectors, and you can see what comes up. So these are the types of programs that I use when I'm looking for issues with academic dishonesty. This is what I use to catch you, if you will, using AI. And so you can use the same resource to check your work and then make corrections before that becomes an issue. So do that, look at all those pages, and then at the very end, you want to mark as done, that you confirm you understand the penalties for academic dishonesty, you know what it is, that sort of thing. And then once you've done that, the first module should open up. And so you can see that the video will go here, and then you'll just be able to see all of the assignments at this point. So all of the modules are set up the same way. You have an overview and a to-do list. You might have a readings page, and then the readings page will just list what types of readings you're planning on doing. And then there is a section, there's a module in your class just about the textbooks. I have a handbook linked in here if you just need some quick grammar information. There's also some information in our main textbook, and you have access to rules for writers, which you may be familiar with from Comp 1 under the vital source link. There's no required reading from it though. So this book is our main book for the class. It's called the New Harbor Race Guide, and it is entirely online, so you don't have any physical book that you need. But this is going to be the majority of what you're looking for in this class, what you're going to be reading and what you'll need in order to complete the assignments is all in this book. And it goes through a lot of information about rhetorical situations and just information about how authors use rhetoric. It goes through argument, research, all of the things that we'll need. So you'll be accessing this book a lot. What I can do, because it's a Cengage book, I can actually drop the chapters into the module as well. So if you don't feel like clicking on the readings, I've got the chapters in there, and that will take you just to that specific chapter. I don't particularly like putting them in there. I think it makes the module look kind of clunky, but that's just me. And I think a lot of students prefer having that direct link so they can kind of keep track of which chapters they've looked at, and they don't have to go through the readings page and then skip, go over to the ebook and that kind of thing. So that's what you're going to be looking at for this module. All the readings are just introductory. You have 3 assignments to start off with. You'll have a reflection email that you'll send to me, and just giving me some aspects of your writing that you feel strengths or weaknesses, and a goal for the class. You may have done something similar in Comp 1. And then the main thing I want to know is like questions you have about the class, and then anything you want me to know as I read your work. So some students will tell me like they have dyslexia, or they have ADHD or something like that. It just kind of helps me get to know what your learning style is, if there's any impediments to you completing your work in the class, if there's anything that I need to know, like you're working multiple jobs, or you can only work on classwork in the evening or something like that. That is always helpful for me to just kind of give me a heads up. Okay, this person's probably gonna be turning in work late, a lot of the time, or something like that. Introduction discussion board, just a standard introduction. You can post a picture or something, tell us something about you. When you go in to reply, you do have this option here is to upload an image. It's kind of nice if you put an image in there. And then don't forget, you can also put an image in, this is my student self, but you can put an image here in your account. When you go in to change your settings, you can add a picture of either yourself or, your dog or something. And it's kind of nice that we can be able to see people's faces. Really helpful when you're doing discussion boards, because your picture will pop up every time you submit something. The last thing in the module is just an academic honesty quiz. So you can see we're really heavily emphasizing what academic honesty is. By the end of this module, you should have no questions about what is considered, hopefully no questions, about what is considered plagiarism, what is considered something that might get you kicked out of the class, all of that. So we're really emphasizing that right here at the beginning All of the quizzes in this class are ones that you can take multiple times. They pull from a pool, so you'll get different questions each time, but it always records the highest score. And I typically don't put a time limit or anything on them, so just kind of keep in mind that you do have that option to retake them multiple times while the module is open, and then that way you can get the best score possible, so that those little assignments tend to boost your grade quite a bit when if you don't feel like you're as strong of a writer. So that's just an introduction to the class. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, have a great week.